Hello and welcome to another small scene. On previous videos I showed you how I built the track for my car system, and how I designed the track and how I made the grooves. This is a simple video. I made the groove to the wire. I didn't show you how I was pulling the wire, because at the time I was using a sheep wire like this. This is what I used on my previous track, and then I was expecting the Fowler car system start set that I got to come, and the wire is different, so I didn't know exactly. I didn't know what to expect on this wire to put it on here, so I didn't show you about it. Anyway, now I already have this, and I put the wire. I'm using this wire on my set, so let me show you. So what we have here basically, it's the track that I made, that I've shown you before, and I have here the Fowler wire. I was a bit I didn't know exactly what to expect about this, because the wire is thinner, but the truth is that the wire sits nicely over here on this track, and here you can see it's on the surface, and it turned out quite well, better than I was expecting. The wire here, of course, this isn't perfect, and there's a downside to it, which I need to explain to you. And so the thing is, let me just adjust the camera. If you have the Fowler machine, crazy things happening here. If you have the Fowler machine, it has a blade, and the blade makes a cut on the wood, a square cut. So when the wire gets stuck in there, because the walls of the cut are vertical. Now, if you saw my previous video, I made this using a pen and then a pencil. And so, if you imagine the shape of the pencil tip, I'm having a groove that has a kind of a V shape. Now, the V shape doesn't hold the wire in there. So that means that, sorry about this, so it means that the wire doesn't get stuck in there. It requires an extra step, and the extra step is to put a bit of glue. Now, I have this piece here, which is the other piece of my circuit. It's the other loop. By the way, I will make there is another video about this curve radius here. I talked about this before, and now I'm gonna demonstrate in here. This is a tighter curve radius. We will talk about that later. So what I did here, what I had to do here, very basic, very simple thing. Just my camera on position so that you can see basically what we have here. What I did, I put some pieces of masking tape in some parts, not all over the circuit, because that's not necessary. In the end of the straight line, the beginning of a curve, here the end of the curve, the beginning of the other curve, and somewhere in the middle. Small bits of tape, masking tape, not more than this, wasn't necessary. Here and there, a bit of tape to keep the wire in place. For this thing here, for this piece, I used a different tool. While I had this tool, which is a file, has this tip, so it's harder than the pencil, and it has a file tip, so it will cut on the wood. So this allowed me to working on the vertical. This allowed me to make a kind of a steeper groove, and a little more straight. So the wire set here very good. Didn't get stuck in there, but it's set nicely. So small bits of tape just to hold it in place. And what I did next was put some PVA glue on the rest of the track, just a bit of PVA, You can barely see it, but you cannot see it because it's dry. You cannot see. It has a bit of PVA glue in all these parts here. We don't have the tape, and so this held the wire in place. And now I can show you the van. I'm going to leave it here. As you can see, it runs perfectly. And now, removing this tape, so taking the tape off, the wire is here. Here is a bit over the surface, very slightly, but we'll have then the plaster. I will eventually slightly sand this. I'm going to show you here. I hope the camera can focus on this. The groove is slightly larger than the wire, but because it has a bit of glue, the wire is in place. And so I leave the van. Perfect. So basically, yes, we can do this using the Fowler wire with some cheaper tools. Of course, if you are part of a, let me pull this up. If you are part of a club or if you have a big layout, of course, it probably is a good idea to get the tool, the Fowler tool. But for me, it's a bit expensive. It will be more expensive than a whole start set like this. I would prefer buying another start set with more of the paint and more wire and another car for myself than buying that tool, which I can replicate its job by hand. But of course, if it's or even another loco, cheap locomotive. So I think it's not for me. It's not worth the cost. Of course, bigger layouts or a club where you can gather some money to buy stuff. Of course, it's always more perfect. But otherwise, we can do it without that expensive tool. By the way, I'm going to show you here on the other part. That one I already made the groove knowing the Fowler wire. In this case here, the one that I've shown you on the other video, this was made before having the Fowler wire, the big one. So this is the original groove that I made with a pencil that I've shown you on the other videos. It's not glued, the card is stuck on the tape, but as you can see, she runs perfectly here. She's hitting the tape over there, but apart from that, she can run here. So this thing works. I hope you like this video, and let me pull this up again. Kind of a crazy stuff today. This is video. Oh, sorry. Okay. So I hope you like the video. There will be another video on the curve radius. Interesting stuff. And there'll be more things about this, and I will show you what's the idea behind of this loop. So hope you liked it. Hope you give it a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe my channel, I would appreciate. And I try to put interesting stuff on this so that I can help somebody. See ya. Thanks. Okay, this is kind of a video edit. So on the board that you saw before, I already had made the groove and I put the wire. So I decided to run the file in here. I didn't do this in this piece before. And so the groove is slightly deeper. Some parts it was a bit shallow and the wire was slightly up. Now I have the wire. I'm going to do here what I done on the other one, a bit slightly better. So I'm going to take a piece of the masking tape. This is a wide one, 5 centimeters wide. I couldn't get this smaller one. I'm going to cut it in half, so 2.5 centimeters by 2.5 centimeters. I'm going to stick a bit of tape without touching the other part. I'm even going to cut this. Don't need all this tape here. Now I'm just placing the wire. It sits smooth in here. Probably what I'm going to do in the end of the curve, I'm going to put another small bit just to hold it there. Just pressing the wire with my nail. It gets there. I'm going to reach the end of the curve, somewhere around here. I'm going to put a bit of tape over there. So I have an entire curve here. Just a bit of tape over there. The groove is there. Just placing it, pulling it with my finger, so it's not going down very deep. It's on surface level because I'm pushing it with the finger. Here. So at surface level. And now in the end of the curve, a bit of tape over there. You see, it stays in place. Sorry about the zooming in and out. If you see, it's there. It's in place till the next curve. So now another bit of tape in the before the curve, just before the curve, here. And now the last curve. You're not seeing it. Here, the last curve. I'm going to put a bit in here. If I let the wire, it will jump. Oh, it didn't jump, see? Because it has a bit of tension and the curve is small, I just placed the wire. It's loose. I'm going to place it. It gets there. So, perfect fit of the wire without glue, anything, just the pressure of the tension of the wire against the curves of the groove, and with the hand tools and with this basically. So yeah, this thing works. That's what I want to show you.